Okay, so we finally made it. We actually got to the Super Bowl, and the journey there was long, grueling, and unpredictable for sure, but we ended up getting there, and I think Chiefs vs. Bills might have been the game of the year. So let's not waste any time, and let's get right into the recap.
Thank you for the happiest year of my life.
Okay, look, the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, we can all congratulate them on a great season, right? It was magical. There's no other way to put it. I've said their season's been magical like 100 times, but I just don't have any other words for it. We've never seen a season like this, and if it was going to keep going, like, take a step back and imagine a world where the Commanders won this game and then won the Super Bowl. That would be an absolutely legendary season for any sport in general, but it just wasn't meant to be. Because on paper going into this game, it was clear how the Commanders could pull off the win if they were going to. They were going to need to steal a ton of possessions on fourth downs and have 0 turnovers. That was the only way. And the first drive looked great for that formula, but it also didn't at the same time. They converted 2 fourth downs, but the Eagles really did just make them grind for every yard, and they only got 3 points, and from there, Saquon Barkley also is just having a legendary playoffs, and yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. The Eagles just have more talent, and the Commanders turned it over 4 times. But I honestly think the coaching for the Commanders was really, really good. They put their players in the right position to make the plays, it's just they didn't have the talent to keep up with the Eagles. But yeah, here's the thing for Philadelphia though. Jalen Hurts was obviously the biggest question mark for the Eagles throughout this whole playoffs. 2 games, 2 injured Jalen Hurts performances, and given the Rams injury he just suffered a week ago, we weren't sure if he was going to be even more hurt than he was the last 2 weeks, but he looked really good. And that is terrifying for the Chiefs. He made the biggest play of the game when under pressure he threw a dime to A.J. Brown, who smoked Marshawn Lattimore again. Dude casually had probably the worst performance of the entire playoffs, but yeah, Jalen Hurts, he might be back. Now, also here's the hot take here that people are going to come at me with pitchforks for, but I could care less. I think this game was actually officiated worse than the Bills game. And I don't think that either game was reffed amazingly, but I don't know, man, that unnecessary roughness call was just a game changer that really just ended the game, and I don't know. I don't want that to be called, but I also kind of understand that, and on the A.J. Brown play from Jalen Hurts, there was a pretty bad no call to hold, but whatever. That's my little rant, because it really didn't matter. The Eagles were going to win this game. They're just better. Also, at the same time, for the Commanders, you can't really be mad. This was a team that was just happy to be there, and Jaden Daniels played amazing. It's just the rest of the team didn't. It was going to take the Commanders' best game of the entire season to even be competitive in this one, but it didn't happen. They didn't play their best game, and thus they lose. But also, I mean, you just gotta take the positives and leave the negatives to the side. The Commanders' GM going to each player on the sideline to just make them feel better, that is something that would never happen under Dan Snyder. It just wouldn't. So, I mean, the culture is actually damn good now. And as for Philadelphia, they did it. The Eagles are in the Super Bowl again and are solidifying themselves as one of the most successful NFL franchises of the last decade. So congratulations to them. Hell, they even scored the most points out of any team all season, so that was pretty cool. And I guess TikTok channels almost got to bust a nut about the rare referee touchdown thing that almost happened, but we didn't get there. So the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and I wonder who they're going to be playing. I mean, I wonder what team it could be.
I think I'm gonna go home and drink myself into an oblivion.
Oh, yeah. People are gonna want to kill me. Look, I was rooting for the Chiefs, alright? I mean, look, I am a big believer in appreciating greatness. As someone who grew up being taught to not like LeBron James because he joined the Heat, and not like Tom Brady because he's winning and he's cheating, at the same time, you just have to take a step back and appreciate the legendary things that this team is doing, and also on a more simple scale, the entertainment that they're giving us. Like, come on, even for those of you that are rooting against the Chiefs, it's fun to root against the Chiefs. It's fun to have a passionate stance on things. And, I mean, this is the modern best rivalry in sports right now. Chiefs versus Bills, Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. It was marketed to be this amazing game, and it just keeps delivering. Every time these two teams play each other, it is peak cinema. But it looked like the Chiefs were actually going to run away with this game early. The Chiefs did have a 90-yard touchdown drive, but Buffalo did respond, as everyone thought they would, but the Chiefs fumbled. They actually made mistakes, and it's just, you don't expect that from them. So, I don't know. There were times in this game where it seemed like the Chiefs had all the momentum, but then after the second half, their offense went stagnant, and the Bills just decided to not run the ball in the first half for some reason, but then when they started giving James Cook the rock, things started working out for them, and they got in the driver's seat, and the game was seemingly theirs. And I think they did a good job. The Bills made it very obvious to the Chiefs, and to me at least, that they needed to put up 30-plus points to win this game. If they didn't have their best offensive performance of the season, they were not going to win the game. And then the Bills started driving. They went down the field, and here we were, 4th down. Josh Allen, can you get 1 yard? Can you, the franchise quarterback who needs to bring a Super Bowl to this starving drought of an NFL franchise, can you get 1 singular yard? Is that possible? Nope. No, it's not. It's not possible. And look, obviously, all of the debates and arguments are going to go to whether he actually got it or not, but look, dude, they called it what it was on the field, and I personally do think he got this first down. But come on, bro. You gotta make it more convincing. It was unfortunate the angles weren't there, that we didn't know where the football was, but I don't know, dude. You gotta get that. You just have to. But all day long, too, Josh Allen was being contained on these little QB scrambles for 1 or 2 yards, so it wasn't surprising that the biggest play of the game happened on a scramble. And then the Chiefs just do what they do best, man. Patrick Mahomes just makes plays with what he has, which is garbage. Juju Smith-Schuster was like the hero for most of this game. They went down and scored a touchdown, but then the Bills answered right back, man. God, they're so good. These are such good football players. It's just gonna be such a tonal shift when I have to watch Raiders football again next year. Can't fucking wait. So here we go. Disaster scenario had kind of just occurred for the Chiefs. They were only able to muster a field goal after they stalled out in the red zone, and you know what? For the first time, their fate was not in their own hands. If Josh Allen could go down the field, kill clock moderately well while controlling the run game too, then the Bills could score a touchdown and leave mere seconds on the clock and walk out of Arrowhead as AFC champions. But it the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs are just too good. I don't know, or too lucky, however you want to say it. The Chiefs got it done. The Bills on 4th and 5 had no response for Steve Spagnuolo's blitz. Josh Allen just threw up a prayer and
whole season for Buffalo on the line here. There they come. He just desperately throws it up in the air, incomplete.
Dalton Kincaid dropped the football. 2 weeks in a row of a star tight end-ish dropping the season for a team. And look, honestly, instantly, I didn't even know there was a drop this bad. I couldn't even see it. They didn't even show the replay on CBS. I got to see the Watson premiere instead, so, thank you for that, television broadcasting rules. That was amazing, but still, the game wasn't over, and Andy Reid did it again. The madman. They didn't even run it every play. They did the same thing they did versus the Browns a few years back in the playoffs with Chad Henne, and did it again, not once, but twice. After Pacheco went out of bounds, Andy Reid put the entire season into the hands of Samaje Perine, who didn't have a single touch all game before that, and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I don't care if you don't like it, but you have to respect it. You just do. This is peak entertainment. This was so fun for 3 hours to watch these two teams go at it, and how can you not just be amazed at everything the Chiefs are doing, dude? Patrick Mahomes is just so sick. But anyways, there's no polls this week because there's only 2 games, so I didn't really think there was a point of doing the polls because it would be kind of obvious. But if you like this video, then subscribe because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you did like this video, watch this video I did a few weeks back on Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their whole rebuild thing. It's pretty good, trust me. And thanks to all my Patreons for pledging $1. It truly does mean a lot. But anyways, until next time.